It's not really, it's not that complicated, really. You got to believe in something first, and then take action to what you believe in. That's really the bottom line. Taylor.
Hi, I'm Taylor. We've heard from lots of people that government shouldn't pick winners and losers by giving tax breaks to some and not others. Over 40 legislators flip-flopped their votes on the Amazon tax incentive break this week. Will South Carolina always get for sale?
This Amazon deal is a very heated issue, of course, and I happen to have some personal beliefs on it, but the fact is that the previous governor of the state, previous administration, made a deal with a company to do something, and we have to honor our word. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't look more broadly at the state does need reforms to this system that exists. Picking winners and losers in the marketplace is something that Republicans are against. But again, our word is our bond. In a case like this, a previous governor, a previous administration gave his word to a company, and they followed through with it. Taylor.
What about the answer? So what about the answer? I didn't find an answer in all that.
They're tough. Again, I said I have some strong personal beliefs on it, but it's not the party's role to weigh in on those kind of things. It's what we have elected officials in the state house. They're Republicans, and we can't. I can't say whether one person's opinion is wrong or right. That's the party. But I did say our words are bond, and we do need to do some real reforms to that system. And it's not fair to have winners and losers picked by the state, but in this case, we had to honor our word, I guess. I thought.
Have you been asked that question by any reporters yet?
Yes, we have. And that's really, I gave the party's position and not my own. Part of the job if you work in politics is if you have strong views on some things, they may not be necessarily different than the parties, but you have to kind of be sure what you're saying publicly at least fits with the party platform. Who's next? That's funny though. You can be a reporter. I like that. Haley.
Well, I'm Catherine.
Okay.
And the Budget and Control Board has spent millions of dollars running parallel computer systems, STARS, and SKIS while attempting to streamline government payroll systems. If this was such a fiscally sound, prudent decision to streamline government, what's all the secrecy for? We've heard Senator McConnell had no idea this project had been full operation for over 3 years, and that the new system, SKIS, has a ton of technical glitches, and state employees are now being overpaid, underpaid, and not paid at all. This is yet another frustrating example of how politicians remain personally and professionally insulated from the painful economic pressures that the rest of us across the Palmetto State are now enduring. What can the GOP do to rectify this?
That's a tough question. It's not on this sheet. So the first question was, wow, the secrecy? Is that what you said? And then the second question is, how can we rectify the situation?
What can the GOP do to rectify this?
We've moved. Governor Haley 2 months ago signed a bill to get more votes on the record. And that's really kind of where it begins. And politicians of all stripes throughout history have been thrilled when the voters, constituents, people like you don't know what they're up to, because it makes their lives a little bit simpler. You're not calling them, harassing them about a vote on an issue. Now, people like you can go in there and create your own scorecards. You can be the judge of someone's record. It makes it a little bit easier. Second part of that was
what can the GOP do to rectify this?
Well, yeah, it's being open and honest about what we stand for, and then seeing it through. And part of that's legislation. But part of that is not saying one thing on the campaign trail and doing another once in office. People need to be more diligent in their districts at home with these politicians of all stripes and all colors and all parties who promise all these things on the campaign trail, and once they get to Washington or Columbia, they back out of their promises and kind of sidestep the issues. Who's next? I've lost track of my questions.
I'm Hannah.
Hey, Hannah.
Republicans often claim to belong to the party of morality, yet Republicans often act viciously toward even their own. How do you reconcile that glaring inconsistency? What do you plan to do to improve stability in the political process?
Well, I have two brothers, and my mom. We always get along on every issue, right? And healthy debate among families is is never a bad thing. Sure, you argue with your parents sometimes, but you still love them. One thing we're doing at the party right now is we're being very proactive in how we reach out to the Tea Party, reach out to the old guard, the Republican Party, and meet with them, hear their concerns, work with them on issues. For example, our first big meeting this summer is going to be at our new chairman's house. We're having a big backyard barbecue. We're inviting everybody for free to come out there from the party. And really, it's mostly about when you got a problem with me or something I'm doing, you call me instead of having a press conference or going to a microphone and screaming into it, right? Much like you don't stand in your front yard and scream at your neighbors when you're mad at your mom. I hope you don't do that. You sit down and talk about it, right? And political parties are much the same way. We want to be civil in our discourse, and I firmly believe we can do that. We can try harder to build relationships.
What role should religion play in directing political parties?
Well, throughout the nation's history, and even before its founding, founding fathers had strong views on religion. I think most of all, it shapes our public policy. It doesn't mean wearing on your sleeve or not wearing on your sleeve. It just means that we have certain values in America that family, freedom, liberty, personal responsibility that shape the policy. And when the policy is shaped the right way and the candidate supporting that policy, it's pretty easy. They have success, we have success, and we think our party, honestly, is the party of family and freedom and liberty and all that good stuff. And that'll continue. And some people say, well, what about these politicians who, I see some on the board up there, who have fallen short? Well, I fall short every day in things I'm trying to do. Just because I say something, I say something out there on the campaign trail or the party stands for something doesn't mean we can't fall short. In the same way that I might go to church every Sunday and profess to not swear, but I might slip up every now and then, right? So it's just all about being consistent. If we're consistent, I think we'll be successful.
Christian, what percentage of elected officials at the state level are motivated by a commitment to principle as opposed to commitment to personal agendas?
There certainly are some who are committed to personal agendas, but the bottom line is most of these people get involved that serve because they want to represent their people back home the right way. One problem we've had over the years in Washington is we call it Potomac fever, the Potomac River that runs through Washington, D.C. People get Potomac fever, and you become part of the system instead of trying to fix that system. So that's why the GOP supports primaries. People have to have a choice as to who represents them in Congress, at the State House. It's all about being diligent if you're a voter, if you're a person who's watching at home, I guess. Luckily for us, these days, it's so easy to get information about how somebody's voting or where somebody stands on an issue that to me, that's really what the Tea Party is all about. Tea Party question in here, but the Tea Party is all about people of all political parties who are interested in what's driving the political debate, why things are happening, and it's easy to get information. So yeah, it's I don't think it's as simple as some people are motivated by their own agenda as opposed to wanting to serve. It's just the problem is eventually some people's values and beliefs kind of shift. And luckily for us, we live in a country where voters recognize that those people need to go and they boot them out.
What will you do better to grow your party than the previous executive director of the GOP?
Oh, that's tough. Joel, did Joel come this year? Joel Sawyer?
Not this year, and he came in when he was still Governor Sanford's chief of staff.
Okay. Yeah, Joel is still with us right now at the party. We're kind of transitioning to our new chairman and me being there. Joel has been a fantastic executive director. Really, the chairmen have different styles.